Are y'all ready for this?
Live, it's that Words by Rule anthem. Wake up in the morning, get that daily inspiration. One day at a time, we stay on our grind. Humble all the time, then we all gonna shine. I'm tuning in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ryan here with Shred. I'm here with my man Jody Rue and Aaron Simpson today. We're all in the house.
Bomb Schnitzel.
We wanted to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're getting more listeners every day, more feedback every day. Last week's episode was a big hit with the Q&A, so if you guys want us to do that again, continue to send in the questions, and we'll answer them to the best of our ability.
Shred Podcast on Facebook. Send us the messages.
Yep. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about nutrition facts. Okay, how we're kind of duped, what you need to look for, so the stuff you need to stay away from, and teach you guys how to read labels a little bit, because I've not always been able to read a nutritional label correctly because they're kind of tricky.
Right, they got stuff on there you probably can't even pronounce.
Yep.
They want to trick you up a little bit too.
They do want to trick you up. One fact that you guys should probably know is the FDA allows a 20% variance in calorie accuracy on their food labels. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to underestimate the calories so you don't think you're eating as many calories as you are.
That's messed up.
Yep. So without doing the math, it's like 20% off. If you're eating something that you think is 300 calories, then you're probably going to add 20% to that, and that's what it really is. Because they're not going to add more calories, so you think you're getting more than what you're really eating. Isn't that crazy?
It is. That's setting you up for failure.
Are you telling me that they lie on labels?
No.
I mean, anything is
The
gluten-free and healthy.
the FDA is allowing them to lie.
They would never do that to us.
They would never do that. So of course they're gonna go ahead and take 20% off what you're really eating. So I mean, if you guys are looking at a food label, it's probably a little bit higher than what you're thinking. Same thing with how they're doing that at restaurants now. How they're having to provide the nutritional facts at restaurants. Those are probably even more than 20% off, because there's really honestly nobody regulating that. So you can, I mean, they could lie to you on anything that you're eating. It could be 30 or 40% variance on what you're really eating at a restaurant. So be careful if you guys are dining out and thinking that you're making a healthy decision, because you're probably not. And they don't measure what they put in their thing. So every chef is probably a little bit different of how much food they put in there.
Right.
Okay, let's get back to food labels. Okay, so I was going to bring some food down here and get some food labels, but...
we ate it all on the way.
We ate it all on the way. We killed the evidence. So I just went to the refrigerator here, and the first thing I found, just to see the order of everything,
cheesecake,
was some
baby?
Cheesecake. So this is going to be some great nutritional facts. So first thing you guys...
By the way, we don't record this inside of any of the gyms that we own. So.
Yeah, right. No cheesecake in our gym.
This is not a healthy, safe space.
Yeah. So what we have here on the cheesecake here, the first thing you want to look at is servings per container. So you see how many servings there are, because if you have a can of something and you think you're going to one can looks like one serving to you, it could be, usually a can is 2.5 servings. So you guys need to look at the serving size. So whatever the serving size is per container, if you're going to eat the whole thing, multiply the total calories by how many servings you're eating. So for instance, if it's, let's do some easy math here. So if it's 300 calories and it's 2.5 servings, you're gonna eat the whole thing. That's 750, right? 750. Yeah, so that's 750 calories if you eat the whole thing. So everything you do, if it's a serving, I don't know if that's right or not.
Listening.
I needed my calculator on my phone. So if you're gonna eat the whole thing and you're gonna eat all the servings, you have to multiply it not only by the calories, but by the sodium, by the fat, by the protein, to see where you're at. But so make sure you're looking at the serving size first.
Yeah, and I had to add to that too. Like, I'll watch people eat like a protein bar or a protein cookie that they don't actually realize that it's 2 servings when you read that label. Or I'm a big fan of the instant rice where you just take the little packet and throw it in the microwave for a minute and 30 seconds. But if you read that, those are 3 servings. And I don't know how many times I see people heat them up and dump the whole entire thing on their plate and eat it in one meal.
And that's going to get you like 80 or 90 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
When they think they're getting 40, because
Right.
they look at the label and see 40. I think they're 2 servings actually. So I think it's 42 grams of carbs per serving. So they're eating 84, thinking that they're only eating 42. So make sure you're looking at the serving size on the label. That's the first thing you want to look at. The total calories, I mean, it matters too, but you really want to look at the breakdown here. You want to start out, it goes total fat. So on the cheesecake here, which the serving size is 6 pieces, and these are like little bite-sized cheesecake things. The total fat on those for 6 pieces is 30 grams of fat. 30 grams of fat, okay? So then you look at your total value. So when you look at the total value on a nutritional label, that is the total value based on a 2,000 calorie balanced diet. I wouldn't really be concerned with that because it's balanced by what the FDA says or the MyGov plate. So it's based off of a higher carb diet, your carbs, than fats and proteins than what we suggest you do. So make sure you don't look at the total value unless it's the total value of the macro breakdown that you're doing if you want to do that equation, but I wouldn't get that deep. So saturated fat is next, and then trans fat. Okay, anything with a lot of trans fat on the nutritional facts, you just want to put down and walk away from it. Okay, if you guys listen to our fat episode, trans fats are about the worst things that you can eat for your body. So if it's got a high amount of trans fats, another fact about fats on a nutritional label is they don't have to list trans fats if they're under 1 gram. So if it's 0.9, they don't have to. They can list them as 0.
What?
Yeah. So that's another reason that it affects like how many total calories they show you, because if it shows 0 and you add that up, then it's going to equal, no grams.
Right.
Or you're going to have more total amount of calories. So then you look at cholesterol. So the cholesterol on this cheesecake, because all the good stuff in it,
It's got to be over 100.
it's 145 milligrams of cholesterol, which is 50% of your daily allowance. Okay, 50% of your daily allowance on a 2,000 calorie diet. So if you're on a 1,400 calorie diet, that's going to be about 75% of your total cholesterol in a day.
One little cheesecake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put the cheesecake down.
Put the cheesecake down. Yeah. Okay, so after cholesterol, then comes sodium. Okay, sodium's really tricky because you have to take the serving size by the amount of sodium, and the trickiest part of sodium is in condiments too, because a condiment can be really low calorie. And the sodium could be completely ridiculous high. Yeah, ketchup. Mm-hmm. Well, ketchup has high fructose corn syrup in it too, so you want to stay away from regular ketchup. Annie's organic ketchup, that's really good for you. Lower sodium. The one thing that I learned is, you guys have heard of liquid aminos?
Yep.
Okay, so liquid aminos market that they have lower sodium than low sodium soy sauce. And I love soy sauce. So I started using liquid aminos a long time ago, thinking that, oh my gosh, it's only got, 320 milligrams. It's basically half of what low sodium soy sauce is. So I was squirting liquid aminos all over all my shit.
I found something good.
I was drowned in my stuff in liquid aminos, thinking that it was a lower sodium option. And then when I get to think about it, I looked at the label. It markets that, but if you look at the nutritional facts, that's a serving based off of 1 teaspoon.
Whoops. Wow, and you're like over here dousing
it. So 1 teaspoon has 320 milligrams of sodium. And so I'm not shitting you. I was probably putting 1,500 milligrams worth of sodium of aminos on my stuff, thinking I was doing it right. But this is back in the day before I knew better.
Lips dried up.
Yeah.
So what I've changed since the episode we talked about the liquid coconut oil. Man, I actually read the label of my liquid coconut oil. I was like, okay, not using that anymore. Going back to the olive oil spray.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Every day in my
calorie.
dozen eggs. Yeah. And then I didn't realize how many calories I was getting just from, and I was putting in probably 2 tablespoons. So I was getting in 260 calories just from that in my dozen eggs.
Yep. See, it's tricky. It's calories sneak in on you.
You get told all the time it's healthy for you, and it's like this magical thing that does anything.
It's still calories.
Yeah.
It's still calories. It's still putting your calories higher. So, and then that could be a 20% variance.
Yeah.
So it could be even more than that,
That's
20%
crazy.
higher than that. It's crazy, right? So then if you look at low sodium soy sauce and you break it down, like its serving size is 1 tablespoon. So that would be 1 tablespoon is 570. So they can market that it's lower sodium and trick us. But really 1 teaspoon of low sodium soy sauce is 176 milligrams.
Holy crap, that's nuts.
Right? Got me. Duped.
Got him.
Duped. Yeah. So watch out if you guys are doing liquid aminos. I know it's big fad like in the fitness thing right now, but like a lot of people post about their liquid aminos and everything, but watch out. They're just as high as regular soy sauce.
That's nuts.
So another thing I want to talk about, and Aaron's going to take this over a little bit about, I'm sure you guys heard a lot about MSG. So tell us a little bit about MSG.
All right. So MSG stands for monosodium glutamate. It's the sodium salt of glutamic acid, one of the most abundantly natural occurring non-essential amino acids. It's found in lots and lots of common food like tomatoes, grapes, cheese, mushrooms. So no matter how you eat, anybody is getting in at least 10 to 20 grams of MSG a day just in very common foods. Actually, your body produces 50 grams of MSG on its own. So most processed foods, any processed food is going to be loaded with MSG. So definitely something to stay away from. But like raw fruits, vegetables, and fish are not, they're exempt from the nutrition label. So when you're eating raw fruits, vegetables, or fish, they don't even have to even on that label even talk about how much MSG is in that. The MSG, basically all it is a enhance the flavor. So they want you to, like, it creates like a rich, savory flavor, almost like a meat taste in your foods. In 1909, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but there was a man from Japan that actually came up with it. And then from Japan, it spread to Chinese, got into Chinese food. We hear a lot about Chinese food being with tons of MSG in it.
Yeah, and that's like you eat it and then you're hungry again real soon.
Yeah, and then from there, it came over to the U.S. in canned foods in the 1930s. So it's basically a building block of protein, the glutamic acid is, and making it a salt to produce glutamate is how and then it turns into the actual MSG. I don't know why I was coming with GMA at. But so Chinese restaurants, obviously. So back in the 1968, there was a guy that actually came out and started calling the effect that you get from MSG a Chinese restaurant syndrome. Back here recently, they've actually shown that that is completely false. He was claiming that he was getting headaches, brain damage, chest pain, weakness, heart pain, all kinds of things just from eating MSG. But now all the recent studies, like there was a study done in 1969 where they were actually injecting MSG into mice, and it was causing all kinds of problems. But there's no way humanly possible that you would ingest that much MSG compared to body weight size that they were in these mice. So that's really when it kind of took off as just like this evil thing to completely stay away from. What companies are doing now to trick us to not show how much MSG is in the labels, they're actually calling them by different things, like naturally contained fruits and products that have MSG in is what they're using. So hydrolyzed vegetable protein is a word that they're using now instead of MSG. And then autolyzed yeast is another word that they're using for that. So basically, the whole entire gist of MSG is to make your food taste better. One restaurant owner said to get the same type of flavor in his chicken, he would have to boil the chicken bones for over 8 hours to get that flavor out of what just throwing a tablespoon of MSG in that soup.
That's crazy.
So, like, obviously, soups have a ton of MSG. Chips. When you go to KFC, I mean, that's going to be loaded with MSG. So any kind of fast food is going to have a lot of MSG in it just to help that flavor. When your body has 5 senses that it actually can sense different things as far as sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and then umami is another one. And umami is the 5th flavor that your human tongue can sense. And that basically what the MSG does inside your body, it's almost like a flavor explosion inside your body that enhances the flavor of the food that you're eating. So
that's nuts. Yeah, and I've seen it causes obesity, eye damage, headaches, fatigue, depression. I mean, all that stuff is bad. You know, like people think that what they put in their body doesn't make a difference. It's not just, you know, yeah, it tastes good, but you got to be cautious. That's going to alter your whole mood just by eating some MSG. That's crazy.
Yep. Well, the craziest part about it is just that we've been duped again.
Yeah.
Like, so it's in the headlines, so they're allowed to name it the same thing, different things, so we continue to buy it when it becomes to the forefront. They do,
healthy,
and that's bullshit, you know. But the FDA allows them to do that. There's a lot of stuff that the FDA lets us put in our bodies in the United States that other countries don't let people consume. And guess what? We have a huge rate of cancer, obesity, depression, heart disease, because we're being duped. So you guys need to know and read your labels and see what you're putting in your body. We've said this before. If it has more than 5 ingredients and you can't pronounce those ingredients, you probably shouldn't be eating it.
Right.
You know, so this is another thing I'll get to. Well, I kind of passed it when I went to fats, but so I use the Kirkland, the all natural peanut butter. It's kind of like Skippy Natural. Yeah. Okay, so it says natural on it. Ooh. And
it must be good then.
Yeah, it must be good. But there's 3 ingredients in that. Okay, so it's under 5 ingredients. So it's peanuts, palm oil, and sea salt. Okay, which sea salt's good. Palm oil sounds like it's good, but palm oil is a trans fat. But when you look, it says in palm oil on the ingredients, but when you look at trans fat, there is 0 trans fat in that peanut butter. So riddle me that.
Wow. That didn't make any
so
sense.
It must be 0.9 or under, so,
So
it's
they don't
not
have to-
it's
don't
not
have to
really
say
that
it.
bad. But what the palm oil does in that peanut butter is to keep it from having to stir it and keep it in a refrigerator, so it preserves it at some point.
Right.
Yeah, but still, if you're not getting a massive amount of it, like how much peanut butter Aaron eats, he's probably getting
I
too
want
much
some
palm oil.
now. There's a reason why
Like
it doesn't.
half a cup.
It does not come in my 6-pack bag during the day. It is there for evening use only.
That's right. So after sodium on the nutritional facts, you get to total carbohydrates. Okay, so total carbs, and we've talked about carbs. We're not going to preach on carbs again, but there's a difference between carbs, the quality of carbs. So after total carbs, you have dietary fiber. And majority of people, and I'll throw out a fact, like probably 80% of people in this country, there it is.
I'll throw out a fact, but probably
83.
80 sounds great.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Don't
just
get
saw
enough
it.
fiber in their diet.
82.59% of the people.
See, I was right on. Yeah. Don't get enough fiber in their diet. So, like this cheesecake, you get 1 gram of fiber. For women, you want to shoot for 25 grams of fiber a day. Guys, 30 to 35 grams of fiber a day. Okay, fiber is going to keep you full. It's going to get you pooing.
Can you get too much? Because like if you now look at some of the natural protein bars that are out there, they are just loaded with fiber. So if you have one of those as one of your snacks plus the regular fiber in your food, is that a bad thing?
I don't think so. No,
Okay.
you might just be a little gassy.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
clear you out.
Yeah, clear you out a little bit, but I don't think it's bad. So then you have after fiber, so make sure you're getting enough fiber, 25 for women, over 30 for men, is you have total sugars. Okay, so this cheesecake, 27 grams of sugar. You guys know if you drink a 20-ounce Coca-Cola Classic, 20 ounce, 63 grams of sugar.
63?
63 grams of
God.
sugar.
But I
Okay?
like to put my crown in it.
Yeah, so I talk to people. Yeah, I
That
talk
makes
to
it
people
better,
all the
right?
time that drinks fountain drinks all day long. Do you even know how much? Do you even know what that's doing
Right,
to your
think about
body?
a big gulp at like QT or something.
Over 100 grams of
Haven't
sugar.
had
Easy.
Yeah, over 100
Big
grams
gulp.
of sugar.
That
so,
brings back a lot of memories. A big
Yeah,
gulp.
maybe call those roadie sodies.
So you guys need to know the difference between regular sugar and fructose in fruit. So I mean, if you're going to look at sugars on a banana, nutritional factor banana, it's going to have 27 grams of fructose sugar. But is the 27 grams from a banana the same as the 27 grams from the cheesecake?
Absolutely not.
Not for us. For
Right.
if it fits your macros, fools,
Yeah.
it is.
True.
So, but not for us.
he
It's
just called
not
us
the
fools.
same. You guys aren't if it fits your macros. if you are, get out of here. Okay, and then added sugars too. So you have added sugars on top of it. So this cheesecake is 50% of your total calories. It's ridiculous. And then you have protein. Protein's pretty simple. If you guys can see, fats are broken down into 2 different types of fats. Carbs are broken down into sugars and fiber. And other sugars, protein's just straight up. This is how much protein you're going to get from it. 8 grams. So, and that's per serving. That's really low. I see a lot of these chips and all these snacks coming out that are trying to get people's attention because protein's like kind of big right now. It's kind of a big deal. And they'll be like, 7 grams of protein in this. 7 grams
Like
of
the
protein is
granola
shit.
bar, the granola bar that has protein in it. And it's 10 grams of protein in one granola bar.
Yeah, 10 grams of protein, but then you're going to get 30 grams of carbs and 25 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure you look at all of it. So when you get past all that, you need to look at the ingredients. Okay, so the ingredients are listed in order of weight in the whatever you're eating. Okay, so whatever's number 1 is going to have the most abundance of it. So if number
the
1
largest
thing,
percentage of it in there?
largest percentage. So if you grab something at the grocery store, like I was with Rye the other day, he wanted like these little Kool-Aid things, and I was like, dude, we'll look at them. And I just wanted to see what was on the label.
Yeah.
Okay, for kids' Kool-Aid drink, it was like one of the pop top things, pre-made. The first ingredient on it was high fructose corn syrup.
Very first.
One of the worst things that you can eat is high fructose corn syrup. Your body can't digest it. It's going to store as fat. And there's so much stuff where high fructose corn syrup is, and I actually think they're renaming high fructose corn syrup different stuff right now too because people are aware of it now,
Right.
which is duped again.
Yeah,
it's
they're
bullshit.
dupers.
It's bullshit that they're allowed to do that, but it's all where the money goes. It's all who can get it past. Don't get me on that. But so high fructose corn syrup was the first ingredient in that. Like in this cheesecake, cream is the first ingredient. I bet it's really good.
It's probably
it's creamy.
fire. You know it's fire.
Cream,
you didn't
milk,
bring
and
that box
sugar.
in here.
Cream, milk, and sugar. Okay, so
Are we
if you're-
betting that Ryan's going to jump into that box before we leave here?
So I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm not very good at pronouncing words, and I'm not very good at spelling. But when I go through this, I know like the first 5 words of these ingredients in here. Then the rest of them I can't even pronounce.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a
I'm
lot
not
of,
even gonna try.
There's
You
a lot
gotta
of
try,
stuff
you
about.
No, I'm not gonna try.
You gotta try.
No.
There's a lot of stuff
One
about
of 'em.
MSG that was the same for me.
Self-conscious
Since
about
it's,
my reading.
yeah, since MSG started in Japan and then went to China. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about MSG that I'm not even gonna try to pronounce those words on here. So
Oh yeah. But then they have like in bold on the ingredients, they have usually down at the bottom under the ingredients list, they have what common allergies are. So this one has egg, milk, soy, and wheat in it. And it contains almonds, coconut, peanut, and pecans and almonds. So they have to put the allergies on there too. But like if you have a whole list of stuff, it's mainly, if you don't know, if it's not a real food, more than likely it's a preservative. Okay, and preservatives are made to preserve the food where they don't grow mold, so they have a shelf life longer. We all know that. But also preservatives cause cancer. Yeah. There's all different names of different preservatives. One of the worst ones is BHA. So if you have BHA on your ingredient label, then you just need to stay away from it. BHA is really bad. It contains oils, but it's another thing. They haven't banned it. It causes cancer in rodents, but it causes cancer in rodents in a organ that humans don't have. So that's why the FDA hasn't banned it yet. So it's probably still really good for us.
yeah.
Yeah.
You remember those chips that came out like 10 years ago? That if you actually read the whole entire label at the very bottom, it said may cause loose stool.
Yeah. So
But they were healthy.
Yeah, they're healthy.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're healthy chips.
So another thing you need to watch out is parabens. Okay, parabens. And so those disrupt your body's hormonal balance. It's another preservative, okay, kind of like nitrates. Anything that has nitrates in it, you want to stay away from. Hot dogs, deli meat. You want to get some, So I get a chicken or a turkey breast for Rye for his lunches from Costco, and the ingredients on it: turkey breast, sea salt, and water are the only 3 in there. Nitrate free, no hormones. So it's about twice as expensive as the regular deli meat right next to it, but it's worth it. Hydrogenated oils, okay, partially or fully hydrogenated oils is another thing you want to stay away from. So high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, nitrates, and sugar you guys want to stay away from. Okay, if you pick up any food label right now, if you're trying to listen to what we're trying to teach you guys here, and you pick up some sort of food that has any of those things we just listed on, put the shit down and walk off. Okay, mainly what you need to do is shop on the aisles, like shop around it.
Yeah, we've said that many times. All the stuff in the middle that's in a box or in a package, you rip the package off and you dump this powdery looking substance in your bowl and then add water to it and then you cook it and all of a sudden it turns into something. Yeah.
It's
real
all
healthy for you.
It's all fake foods. That's why we can't pronounce. That's why we can't pronounce the things that are in it, because I could never dream about spelling them for sure. But it's because it's all fake food. It's made in a lab. They're chemicals. Okay, people. What do you think this is doing to our bodies? Why do you think we're fat? Why do you think we have disease? Why do you think we have obesity? Why do you think we have diabetes? They didn't have that 150 years ago when they're out farming for their shit and hunting, did they?
Right. No, they didn't.
No, you guys need to wake up and realize that this stuff is what's killing us. And the man's not going to tell you. The FDA is not going to ban it. The FDA's there's cures for cancer and cures for different things that the FDA is not pushing through because there's big money behind it. Okay, and if you guys don't realize that, you're just the sheep will fall in the herd. Okay.
The other label that's very deceiving to me that people never look at is your seasoning salts.
Yep.
Like anything that you use for seasoning on any of your food, more than likely it's going to have, especially like anything that's going to go in a stew or a soup or a casserole, that is going to be loaded with MSG. Right. But even beware of companies like Flavor God. Not all of their stuff is sodium free. So you might go and buy a very expensive seasoning salt type thing from Flavor God and then look at the back and start reading the label.
The good thing about Flavor God though is that all their sodium is sea salt. Okay. They're Himalayan pink salt. So that you don't.
But for somebody who's on like wanting to try to stay completely away from sodium altogether,
they could do sea salt or Himalayan. If they pull sodium completely, then they'll mess up their sodium balance and they'll actually. Their body will release aldosterone, and then they'll retain more water. That's a bit, yeah. I can't spell that though. Don't even ask me how to spell that.
Try.
Don't even try. So to recap food labels before we go on to our next subject, unless you guys had anything. Yeah, you
No, I
look
mean,
you were
like
thinking.
with the seasoning, like Mrs. Dash, I think that's a good one for people to use. It doesn't have, it's not loaded with a bunch of crap, and it tastes good. I mean, that's why we were preaching.
fire.
That's fire. That's fire. And I mean, that's part of the reason why you need to meal prep. You know what I mean? Because when you know what you're making and you know what you're putting on your plate and you're taking the time, it may take a little bit more time than getting some out of a damn box. But be cautious on what you put in your body, and sometimes you got to do the extra effort. And don't make an excuse, oh, I'm busy and I'm just going to grab this because I'm on the fly. No, take the time and put the right stuff in you.
Hey, Ryan, I got a question for you since you were talking about the sodium and different salts. So what are some of the differences? Why do you say sea salt, pink Himalayan? Why not kosher salt? Why not table salt? Talk a little bit about some of those differences.
So pink Himalayan salt and sea salt actually help regulate the fluids in your body. So if you cut those out completely, and that's like a big mistake with fitness competitors, is they want to pull sodium like before they go on stage. And if you pull too much sodium out of your body, then your body has a natural aldosterone. It has a hormone that it releases, and it makes you retain everything. So all the water you put in, you're just retaining. Table salt isn't the same way. Table salt doesn't regulate the fluids in your body. Kosher salt, I've read both things on kosher, but really everything that goes back to is sea salt or Himalayan. You want to stay away from table salt. So that's why. Yep. And sea salt and pink Himalayan salt have not shown to raise blood pressure like table salt does. Yep.
And I like it better, honestly. I mean, you can't tell a huge
It's
difference.
way healthy.
But
So, I mean, if you don't want to completely cut sodium, you can lightly sea salt and Himalayan salt, but don't do any table salt. And most seasonings, like Aaron was talking about, most seasonings have table salt in them. So if you just look at the ingredient label and it says salt, that's table salt, and you want to stay away from it. Okay, so a lot of seasoning now that's in the limelight, a lot of seasonings are coming out with sea salt. I've seen it more and more every time I go to the grocery store. So as you guys listen to this, I want you to go in your pantries, I want you to go in your refrigerators, and I want you to start reading the food labels and see what you're putting in your body. And really, most importantly, see what you're giving to your kids. Okay, so majority of kids just eat shit all the time. Okay, bad carbs, sugars, and it's okay because they have a high metabolism, but it's, and they're burning off
you
everything.
start them off bad then, though,
Yeah.
then it's a bad trickle effect.
It's bad trickle effect. And so you just need to pay attention. You have to pay attention to what you're feeding your kids because the obesity epidemic is starting young now. And it's not genetics, it's sugar. Okay, it's amazing when I go through the aisle with all the kids' snacks, there is nothing healthy there. Nothing healthy. All the kids' foods and the kids' snacks and the marketing to kids, it's all a bunch of garbage. So quit giving it to your kids. For instance, like with my son, and I'm not perfect. Like I'll let him have some stuff every once in a while, but I get him a good whole wheat bread. Okay, I don't give him white bread. I give them a good whole wheat bread. I pay extra to get the deli meat that's hormone-free, nitrate-free, organic cheese. I'll put a piece of cheese on a sandwich. And then I try to give them carrots with a little bit of ranch. And like regular ranch isn't perfect, but it's better than having, anything else. And then I give them a bottle of water and I put a little bit of Mio in it instead of a juice box. So is it perfect? No. Does it have some stuff that somebody could pick apart and be like, well, you shouldn't be giving that. It's artificial sweeteners or whatever. It's not perfect, but, it's hard to feed a kid with just broccoli and, broccoli and boiled chicken breasts. So you have to, take baby steps where I guarantee if you look at the diet of what you're feeding your kid, and I don't give them fast food all the time. I know there's parents that let their kids eat fast food every single day.
Every day, because they're being lazy. So
I think I told this story before, but my son, we'd fix his lunch every day for school. And for some reason, after this Christmas break, I don't know if his buddy was doing it or what, or if he had liked a girl or whatever, but he wanted to start getting school lunch. And there was since the first of the year, there's 3 times that the school called us after lunch that he was puking. He was vomiting. And he's not a vomiter, because he was eating the crap food that they give at the school. So if you can, that's bulk food, nothing good that you can eat at the school. And I know they're trying to make changes or whatever, but make your kids lunches and make some healthier choices for them. Give them a hearty dinner, make them sit down and eat with you. Don't let them play video games. I'm at fault there for letting my son play video games sometimes when he eats, but feed your kids right, okay, and spend a little bit extra money on them and don't give them shit food. That's my rant on that.
There you go.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about alcohol.
Ooh.
I had a couple questions in the gym
shot time.
about how, because I hear it all the time, I can't give up my wine. I can't not have wine at night. I can't not have a drink. Okay, if you say can't, you're just setting yourself up for failure. But I really wanted to dive into alcohol, really because I like it myself, and no, not really. But it always perplexed me that when you look at and I still haven't got it figured out, so we're going to kind of talk this out. When you look at a bottle of beer, so we'll say like a Michelob Ultra is 90 calories. But on the nutritional facts, it says 0 grams of protein. Okay, so 0. Then it has 9 carbs. Okay, so 9 times 4 would be 36 calories and 0 fat. But the beer is 99 calories. Where are the rest of the calories coming from? Well, actually, when you think about it, though, when I dove into it, a gram of alcohol is 7 calories. But still, think about that. 9 carbs times 7. 63. Sheesh. 63.
I'm only
63.
Asian. I can't count like that.
So that's only 63 calories, but they're still marketing the beer as being 99. So we're in those missing calories. So I got on this Brewmaster site and I was trying to do it like this is really scientific. And I wish I would have paid more attention in college with chemistry and math and everything, but I was too busy sacking quarterbacks and Big Macs. So there we go.
Double sack.
So
Hey, Nick, pat him on the back real quick.
I think he's needing something there.
So here we go. So if you're counting calories, okay, if you're counting calories for anybody that's in chemistry out there, so here's the equation. So basic calorie value, okay, so 1 calorie per 100 milliliters. Okay, so ethanol, which is alcohol, you take that by 7. So basically, it's, and it's not a macronutrient. So you guys all know proteins are 4 grams, carbs are 4 grams, fats are 9. Alcohol is 7. So it's a little bit higher. But then you take your total carbs from that, okay, and then you multiply that by 3.75, and then you take the total amount of protein per 100 milliliters, and you take that by 4. So I was trying to do all these equations all morning long, and maybe that's why I came in so intense today.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt my brain because then still talking about like a lager. So like a lager beer is 143 calories. Okay, but right here, 12.6 grams of carbs per 12 fluid ounces. So I was trying to figure out the 100 milliliters, convert them into fluid ounces, and I could not get it together. So if anybody is good at chemistry or math out there and they want to help me solve this, but in all reality, like, has nobody ever wondered that? Like, if you look at a beer, and have you ever wondered that?
No.
99 calories for a beer, but it's only 7 grams of carbs. Where are the rest of the calories at?
Yeah, mystery.
So I got this equation, so I might share it, and maybe you guys can help me figure out why. But it's this whole thing on alcohol. But the reason alcohol is so bad is for your body. Your body hates alcohol, really. It's a toxin. So it's really hard on alcohol. Is really hard on your liver. So I know most of the time when we drink alcohol, we're probably eating crap food. So you go out and drink beer and wings.
Maybe not at first, but after you have
Yeah.
it.
When you get the munchies after.
So you know what? You know why that's so bad? It's because when you're drinking alcohol and you eat bad food, whether it's the night of or the morning after, your liver has to go into overdrive to expel the alcohol from your body. Okay, so when you take in food, instead of your liver going in overdrive to break down that food, the food becomes secondary and the alcohol's first. So that food, if it's not getting broken down, then it's going to store as fat. That's why eating bad food while you're drinking alcohol is so bad for you. And then, like, I'm an IPA fan. Like, I like IPAs, and I just looked up the IPA that I drink, 280 calories per beer. Jeez. And I'll smash like 6 or 7 of them. That's over 1,000 calories just in beer. Anybody that drinks margaritas or Long Island iced teas or any of those high sugar drinks, you could be drinking 1,500 calories, over 100 grams of sugar, and you don't even know it. So pay attention to what you're drinking. If you guys are going to drink alcohol, here's my suggestions. Red wine, 5 ounces. So 1 pour of red wine is going to be 125 grams or 125 calories. Okay, so if you drink 3 glasses of wine, you're almost to 500 calories. And that's like a deal breaker.
And you can't have just one glass.
Yeah. So if you know you're going to drink, reduce your total calories that day. Okay, and make sure you stay hydrated. So drink more water. That's going to help your liver with expelling that alcohol from your body. Stick with I always tell my clients, I have for years, vodka and water, lemon and lime. Okay, you got to watch out for club soda is 0 calories, but tonic water has a ton of sugar in it.
Yeah.
Tonic
your body
water
can't break down that sugar very
Yeah,
easily.
your body can't break down that sugar because it's busy breaking down the alcohol.
White tequila is also
Yep.
not as bad for you.
Shots,
it's either vodka or white tequila.
Yep.
Actually,
I mean, if you want to hit
wine-
it quick, shots are about 100 calories of tequila. Like 4 shots, bam, 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 and get it done.
That's what I do. I just do
Just
shots.
get her done. Yep. So,
Get it done.
so the negative effects of alcohol too. Not only is your liver having to work in overdrive, and you're taking that food that you're eating and storing as fat, but it really affects your REM sleep. Whoever has a good night of sleep when they're drinking alcohol. I mean, unless you're blacked out,
yeah. Right? You don't.
But
know
I
you're
never.
sleeping.
I sleep worse when I have been drinking. I wake up early. I feel like shit. Nick's shaking his head. Yeah, you sleep terrible because your body can't go into deep REM sleep when you're drinking alcohol. It also slows your metabolism. Okay, alcohol will slow your metabolism down, and it's also been shown to break down muscle tissue. So if you guys are serious about hitting your goals and getting to where you want to be, unless you're at a maintenance phase, if you're still losing, cut alcohol out of your life. It's just going to set you back, especially if you're having a couple drinks every other night. Your liver's too busy breaking down that alcohol, and you're not. Even if you're eating healthy, you guys don't know what the alcohol is like, how that alcohol is setting you back.
I hear all the time in the gym, man, if I just didn't drink beer, I'd lose a lot of weight. It's like, well, no, because you're also not eating healthy either. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like
right.
a double whammy. Like, you got to get rid of both. I mean, or get rid of one and moderate on the other.
Yep, and then also in men, alcohol has been shown to lower your testosterone. So yeah, if you're drinking too much beer, you got low testosterone, so you're not burning as much, and you're drinking more calories than you are, and you're probably eating like shit, like Aaron said. For sure. So that's a quick rundown of alcohol in your system. Still trying to figure out that equation on how many calories are in alcohol. If you guys want to help out with that, but
We need a math nerd. Somebody call us with some math skills.
with some math skills for sure. So are we done?
Are we done?
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Are you wanting this episode to be over?
I'm just getting pretty hot. I'm kind of getting hot in here.
It's toasty.
It is.
in
It's
here.
hot.
Yeah.
I have to take my shirt off.
It's getting real.
It's getting real. Teeth.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. That's all we're going to talk about today. Nutrition labels. Like I said, just to recap, anything that has sugar as the first ingredient, high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, stay away from. Tell a quick story before we got out of here. So we signed up the smoothie shop for Shredlicious for DoorDash. And so I was looking at our competitors, and I'm going to say names because I don't care. They're not going to come at me. Tropical Smoothie Cafe just opened. So I was like looking at their menu and how they had it laid out and how they had their nutritional facts and everything. So I put one of their 24-ounce smoothies in like the cart, and I looked at the nutritional facts. Okay, so if you just got their straight up protein smoothie and you didn't order it special, then it will have 60 grams of sugar, but it doesn't call it sugar. It calls it turbinado because a lot of people don't know what turbinado is. Okay, so instead of saying turbinado sugar, it just says half turbinado, 30 grams of sugar. No turbinado, you're still going to get like 10 grams of sugar. But since people don't know what turbinado is it or take the time,
that's got to be healthy.
Yeah, turbinado, it sounds healthy. No, tropical. But no, so you get a 24-ounce smoothie from them, and it's 60 grams of sugar if you don't ask for no turbinado. That's crazy. So even if you guys go to Smoothie King, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, any of those places and think you're getting a protein shake, that you don't know what's really in it.
Right,
Well,
you're
there's
getting a
protein in it
milkshake.
too.
Yeah. And so, I mean, honestly, they can fluff on the numbers as well. So that it says 60 grams of sugar, but more in reality, it's probably 80 grams of sugar. So you're not eating healthy. You're better off going and getting a Big Mac if you're going to eat 80 grams of sugar in a shake. If it tastes like a milkshake, it's probably as bad as a milkshake.
Right, you need shakes that are made with love and not sugar.
That's right. That's the Shredlicious motto, made with love, not sugar.
Ooh.
Not any extra sugar in our smoothies. So, yep. All right, come get one. Thanks for listening. Next week, we're going to be talking about motivation. Motivation.
There we go.
Yeah, what motivates you, how to stay motivated, what affects your motivation, and all the good stuff. So check us out. Go subscribe to our podcast and like our page on Facebook and give us some good feedback. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Peace.
Later.
Next week's episode sponsored by Turbinado.
What's that?
We stay on our grind, humble all the time. Then we all gon' shine. I'm tuning in live.
You have been listening to Shred with host Ryan Waters, along with Aaron Simpson and Jody Rue. The Shred podcast is produced by Nick Parker and the Fredcast Network. Subscribe to Shred on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or most any of your favorite podcast apps. Have a topic, idea, or question for Ryan and the gang? Connect with us on Facebook at Shred Podcast.
We stay on our grind, humble all the time. Then we all gon' shine. I'm tuning in live. It's that Words by Rue anthem. Wake up in the morning, get that daily inspiration. One day at a time. We stay on our grind, humble all the time. Then we all gon' shine. I'm tuning in live. Wayne Studios. This that words by Rule and ooh. If you don't know, now you know. This that words by Rule and too fresh, too clean. In your mouth like Listerine. Swish swash, swish swash. Ooh.